Long time no see. How are you doing? Hello. You got me in the middle of some very important papers. What can you tell me? Do you want to know information about M5? Okay, then so sit down here, Sam. Let me tell you about a few things here. Come on, come on. There we go. Much better. So, how are you doing? So, hello and welcome to a new studio update from Corvus Belli from my personal space, from my office. You know, this whole space is just for me. Behind the camera, laughing his ass off is Connie, superstar Warcore Admiral from Other Space. And today is here, quick and fast, new studio update aiming at the contents that were delivered on Nova Open, The Crash, or upcoming Freak Wars. Okay, lots of stuff that is going to be revealed here in this video. So please join us and enjoy the ride. So let's begin with all things about M5, which is the main thing that everybody is interested now on. So let's check out. Here we have the actual cover of the upcoming book for M5, yes, which is a new beginning and we're so excited about it. It's going to obviously begin the 5th edition of Infinity, so setting a new horizon of storytelling and once again describing who is who in the human sphere and who suddenly has become a new faction and stuff like that, new releases and new upcoming armies. Let's talk about rules, shall we? Okay, first of all, subtle changes, because one of the main approaches of M5 is making the game more beginner friendly, and certain issues regarding language were pointed by the developers and people who cares about that. So, subtle changes as the vitality attribute that now changes the name for wounds, but structure will still be the same. So for organic units they will have vitality and mechanical units will have structure, while they both of them suffer wounds and will represent that with the wounds marker and the unconscious marker when they are totally stunned and nullified. Apart from that, we can also address the PS, possibility of survival, that is a military term actually, that is used when analyzing weapons and works the same PS in many different languages. Possibility of survival is kind of like the new damage and is an attribute now that all weapons have and is being used with when you are making the salvation roll. Instead of rolling as high as you can, which was a kind of roll that many beginner players misstep with it, because it was different from all the other rolls. Now all the rolls in the attributes chart of the profile will work the same, going for the value or below that value in order to succeed. So no longer rolling for if the damage of the weapon hurts you, now you're rolling for surviving the weapon. Okay, that's the new roll. Mathematics is still the same with Infinity M5, as you know, it's a very continuistic edition. So no big changes here, just a subtle nuances regarding language and the roles. Moving on, we can tell you, for all of you that are so concerned about guided missiles, that Corvus Belli is addressing the point, balancing a little bit the attack. We do not never consider the guided missiles to be truly broken, okay, we consider that some other things are more broken than that, but it is true that the non-risk, high-reward nature of guided missiles, where nobody was risking suffering an ARO, was a bit against the nature of the game, which we love so much. So we are addressing the point and making guided missiles both satisfying for both ends of the missile, the one who is using them and the one who is suffering them, okay? We can also mass address the psychological effect of nerfing guided missiles. As soon as someone puts a -3 over there, suddenly they are not worthy or whatever, you know, how people is very sensible with this. So we are not confirming the final version of the rule, but Corvus Belli is addressing the point. Moving on, we can talk about combat, and certain changes are going to be applied with M5 regarding close combat, benefiting the high stakes of the rolls essentially. From now on, every unit that has an attribute profile or certain moments allows them to have an attribute above 20. that value above 20 will go to the bottom of the roll, and now if someone has like close combat 26, critical hit from 1 to 6 will happen, apart from the 20. The 20 will also be critical hit, and many people are concerned about that. So instead of adding numbers to the roll and subtracting the rebound of the 20, which was the way we were doing things in M4, now it's more natural, and also makes the lower rolls be very valuable. So that is the main thing. Some people has addressed that mathematically it stays the same in regarding chances of hitting, but we consider this quicker to learn or more natural to immediately address the role, how the role has to be. Apart from that, Natural Born Warrior changes a little bit, now just cancels all the negative modifiers that any kind of icon or any kind of negative modifier is being applied to you. Now Natural Born Warrior is immune to that, but it never cancels the positive modifiers. So if two close combat specialists get in a close combat and both have incredible values up there, they are not cancelled. Everybody rolls super high and we will see what happens. But the negative modifiers for that character that has Natural Born Warrior does not affect him. That's it. Moving on, we are also addressing the new category of units for M5 because there's this new label that is vehicles, but I really wanted to project an image in your brain, okay, because many people when they hear about vehicles, everybody has a background and many people think about tanks or bigger boxes with chains and stuff like that. In Infinity, vehicles are not going to be like that. Allow me to show you some silhouettes that might inspire you, but we consider vehicles in Infinity that they have to be dynamic, ergonomic, sleek, sexy, okay, and something that looks very much in this kind of cyberpunk future that we have built all together. Tanks in Infinity mostly are tags, okay, which that's our vision, that they can take partial cover and stuff like that. So we are kind of looking at vehicles in a different way. So if everybody was thinking that Infinity suddenly stops being a skirmish and become big battles and have big tanks, no, that's other game, okay? We just pointed like that. Apart from having like sexy hover bikes, that is kind of the idea that someone has in his brain, we'll also be addressing drones, which is a nowadays implementation in the combat theater totally, and more in the future. So we are kind of looking at both tripulated drones with pilots and totally remote presence drones, which is the nowadays thing. Both of them will be added to Infinity M5 with also the label of being, flying units. And that will be represented with a certain amount of rules, for example, not being able to engage in close combat both themselves or being attacked in close combat by enemies because they are hovering over the units. And that will be represented also with a very big silhouette value, okay? I was told that they're very efficient units, and we are kind of testing now the size of the actual miniature. We have one already sculpted. We are looking at it like the test project, like, okay, like this big, this there, flying like this, okay, we're very excited about this. Apart from that, one new thing, because many of the things that I'm mentioning here, some are old, some new fields, for example, the spending of a command token to request a Speedball, okay, and Speedball is like this kind of support tool that is being thrown at you from orbit and falls, well, in fact it's going to be two different markers falling in different spots of the table with a roll, and you can request certain equipment in order to improve your unit or making it come back from unconscious state even, stuff like that. Very, very useful thing that gives value to the command tokens. Regarding the fiction that we are already creating, this is heavily inspired by recent video games, not going to mention it, but we know what we're talking about, okay? And everybody is excited with that, thumbs up, it's cool, Speedball, stuff comes, okay? Developers look a bit beyond that. They are considering that adding value always to the command tokens is a good thing, because making the spending of the command token like something that you have to be careful with. And apart from that, also stagnation. Sometimes certain armies, certain units, certain moments, a unit gets stagnated in a shootout that seems to go nowhere. This is not giving me the victory or the victory. The battle hall stops kind of in that moment. Sometimes happens, and these kind of tools might deliver the making the difference for that shootout in that precise moment, and allows the battle to move forward, and we are very okay with that. I might point out that the new line of product that is going to happen with Infinity M5, which is what we name as Essentials. Okay, Essentials is kind of the new beginner-friendly recruiting tool for Corvus Belli Infinity. There's a coming box that we are very excited about because we put a lot of effort with this one specifically. Is the Essentials Start Here. Because that's the name of the box, Start Here. You will begin, as a beginner player, jumping into Infinity with that box. It's a very affordable box. We think it's going to be around $40, something like that. Comes with a gaming mat, comes with terrain, comes with stat cards, okay? Stat cards for Infinity, just for those units, okay? Measuring tool, dice, quick start rules, everything to make the Infinity one-on-one very easy to jump in. The miniatures are Kitsotsu, Shikami, classic Infinity Fusiliers, classic Orc from Ice Storm. We intentionally use those units because we want to lower the price as much as we can in order to make it very affordable to jump in Infinity, to not be even a question the price, like jumping. Okay, I can see even veteran players buying this, but it's not for you, it's not for veterans, it's for beginners, okay? So we have a lovely amount of figures going to fight in a very small battle in Start Here, and Corvus Belli and myself and Connie and Cora are going to make rules tutorial videos for you in order to understand the rules, to be gently grabbed by the hand, the beginner player, and one-on-one short videos explaining rule by rule and at some point the whole battle, kind of like the stuff that was made with Warcrow, but this time with Infinity M5. Okay, moving on, I have something here to show you, is the big box, the one that the veterans will want, the one that everybody will be excited about. This is Operation Sandra. This is the 2-player battle pack for Infinity M5. This is big, this is huge, and comes with 2 new sectorial armies, because since this box is for veteran, we can directly address sectorial armies and mention fighting rules if we need to, okay? This comes with the first 7 and 7 miniatures for 2 new upcoming starter sectorial armies. Their names are Kestrel Colonial Force, a new sectorial army for Pano, and JSA Shindenbutai, a new sectorial army for the new faction JSA. So, incredible box, new terrain, Akashi site, a colonized station by the JSA in that new planet, Planet Shinju, that was discovered through the Abraxas wormhole in the events from M4 to M5. There's a new scenario, Pano against JSA, Shindenbutai against Kestrel, that is happening. So finally, we have lovely sectorial armies arriving here. Do not confuse the Start Here box for beginners with the Sandra box, which is the one that now everybody is hype about. Okay, This has been Carlos Bostria. We are looking forward to give away the pre-order dates for this new Operation Sandra box, and not only that, also the new upcoming book. There will be an incredible week. We haven't shown here the pre-order models, the exclusive, we are saving that punch for later, okay, but there will be a pre-order figure for Sandra, there will be a pre-order figure from the bundle, and it's beautiful. So stay tuned, more information in the future. Looking forward making M5 the biggest edition of Infinity ever, because it's going to be like that, and we know it. Thank you so much for your attention. This has been Carlos Bostre from Corvus Belli. Bye.